Hi, and welcome back to What's on Her Plate podcast. I'm Jamie Easton, and we're here to capture stories of vulnerability and victory. I'm so excited for today's guest. It's my good friend, Bella. Bella, can you say hello and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bella. I live in Orange County and I'm the founder of a digital marketing agency and I'm a mother. And I actually work with Jamie on the Mom Walk Collective on their social media. So I'm really excited to be here.
We want to start off with just a little bit of an appetizer. You recently just announced that you're pregnant. Congratulations. That's so fun. Have you had any pregnancy cravings?
Honestly, I've really been craving potatoes, which sounds super random, but I think because I'm so nauseous, like starch has really been filling me up. Like I'll have it mashed, I'll have them fried, literally chips, all of it.
I love it. I lived off Del Taco French fries when I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like
French
so
fries are the best.
It is so good. And for some reason, I don't know what, I mean, it's all like manufactured French fries or whatever, but whatever the amount of salt or stuff that they put on was my lifesaver.
Yeah.
So I lived off of Del Taco French fries, sour gummy worms, and green apples.
Oh my gosh. It's always the most random things.
It really is. And this is your second pregnancy. Before we dive deep in, I just want to hear, how's this pregnancy going compared to the first?
Honestly, since it's my second, I feel like I'm way less nauseous than I was with my daughter, which could mean it's a boy. We'll see. I don't know if that...
I don't know. I was sick the whole time, so I'm not a good person to like judge too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like I was like throwing up every day with my daughter.
Out of first trimester, does it get better for you or is it okay?
Yeah, I'll be almost out of the first in like a week, so.
Which is so fun.
Yeah.
Now I want to kind of dive into life. So tell me, what's on your plate?
Honestly, so much. I got engaged this year. I got married this year. Found out I'm expecting a child this year. Grew my business. Doubled my income. Work with so many amazing founders that are also mothers and really inspire me. Yeah, every day is a new adventure.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Give you guys backstory. Me and Bella met at a walk
3 years ago.
Yeah, I was freshly postpartum. She was a little bit further out than me and kind of stayed connected, especially in like the, I don't want to say like influencer space, but like the Orange County circle is so small here.
Yeah.
Getting to know her so much more now because she's married to one of my good friends.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll let you tell the story. I'll tell my story, then you can kind of share how you are married to your now husband. But a really good friend of mine, we'd always talk about, anyone's on a date, even last night, all my friends, I showed them a picture of this person and they're like, oh my gosh. And we were deep diving, finding this guy's Instagram. Anywho, he showed me, he's like, Jamie, I saw you're friends with this girl named Bella. We matched on Hinge. Do you know her? And at that point, we like knew each other, but didn't know each other. And then the next day or so, we sat next to each other.
We like followed each other on Instagram.
Yeah. But then we sat next to each other at an event. And I was like, Bella, this is so crazy. Yeah. But one of my guy friends brought you up. And I remember like your response was like, is he nice? Is he cute? But I'll let you kind of take it from there on like your whole journey of, meeting Tyson and what that evolved to.
Pretty wild. So I was a single mom for a couple years. Dating was really hard. I feel like at that point I had been going on dates and I feel like the guys I was dating, either I was super into them and then they weren't into me or vice versa. It just like wasn't really working out. I feel like dating as a single mom is so hard. So like running into you, Jamie, and like, I think I asked you how dating was going and you were like, oh, you know how it is. And then you were like, actually, I know this guy, Tyson, who mentioned you. We didn't even talk about Hinge. Like I thought he saw one of my Instagram reels.
Which I think he did.
Because I'm a social media content creator as well.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, maybe he saw one of my reels, but then it hit me because I literally looked at who you were following and typed in Tyson so I could like find him. And then I found him and I was like, wait a minute, we totally matched on Hinge. That's what it was. So I go back to Hinge and look him up. We literally matched 2 months prior. Like it had been a while. And I wasn't even really using Hinge that much, but we matched and then literally nothing was going to happen. And then I went back and reached out and I was like, hey, like Jamie said, you guys are friends. Do you want to, or I don't even know. I think I just said, hey, I think you know Jamie. And he was like, oh yeah. And then he just called me up.
That's so him. Even we were talking about this last night. He said he'd call you on Friday or whatever day, and he called you then. He's just a man of his word.
Exactly. He called me. We went on a date the following week and pretty much hung out every single day since. And we're very much like, I would just love really hard and like I have an open heart and I just wear my heart on my sleeve, which is why it's scary because I don't want to get hurt. But he's the exact same way, which is why I think we matched so well because we both just like effortlessly love and like want to give to each other.
So good. Also wild of like you guys meeting, married, now pregnant. But I think so much of your story, and I mean, I could talk from it too in this season of being a single mom and getting divorced and getting divorced in your 20s, and would love for you to talk about getting married young, getting pregnant young, getting divorced young. Because I don't know about you, but this was like for me, people praised me for being a single mom. And then the second I said the word divorced, it was like an evil word or something.
Yeah.
Like the term divorce scared people or gave some sort of mindset or anything where they like looked at me different. But they're like, wow, amazing, single mom.
Oh,
But then
yeah.
like divorce. Can you kind of share getting married young, having a child young, divorced young? What was that all like? What was that season like?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stigma around being divorced and being a single mom and being young. I feel like people look at you with a lot of shame and like, wow, you made a mistake. And it's really, I think, one of the most painful things you can go through.
Dude, agree.
It's like really excruciating. And I always think back to being like, oh, that was my lowest point in life. Like, and it really was. Like, but then that's how I found Jesus and that's how I found God, was through that pain. And I don't think had everything played out the way it did, would I have made the mistakes that I did and then found redemption and released my shame and guilt and blame that was so heavy through Jesus.
I just so honor your story so much because it was such an accelerated timeline where you're seeing your redemption so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's an honor. I just have to say thank you for letting me sit on a front row, because knowing Tyson and now knowing you on a greater level, one from just, being Tyson's girlfriend to Tyson's wife, and now we get to work together, and now, I would consider you a friend, and seeing how God moved in your life so quickly. And
It was quick.
it was, but it also is just so beautiful that it didn't have to be this hard,
drawn out thing.
Yeah. Which I
And
think
it
a lot of
can
people
be.
want to hear. Is there hope for a short redemption? Because I think even too, a lot of people want,
I was questioning that. I did not think it was going to go this way.
a lot of people like want to put a timeline then on
Yeah.
like, hey, your healing has to look like this.
Yeah.
And so what was that like for you? Okay, people are saying all these things of like, did you make a mistake or did this or that? What was the healing process like for you? And then how has it been like feeling in this redemptive season?
Okay, honestly, this is bringing me back to, I think, 2023 or 2024, like right after I got divorced. And I think it was like 3 or 4 months after. I made a TikTok and I was so emo at the time, like making all these like long vlogs, like, oh, today's another day. I don't know how I'm going to make it through. 2 months divorced. And I was like fully vlogging it. Like crying on the vlog.
Same.
But I made this video and I was like so emo, me holding my daughter, and I was like sad because I don't know if I'll ever have another. But I know I was meant to have 4, but I'm divorced and I don't know if she'll ever have a sibling. And now here I am like 2 or 3 years later. The timeline is messy, but it's like 2 or 3 years later. So I would have never thought back then that I'd blink and here we are and like it all worked out. And I feel like I was so stressed and worried at the time.
Every time I keep seeing you, I know I've like said this 1,000 times, but I keep forgetting that there's a human in there. Like this is
I honestly do too, which is cool because I feel like when I was pregnant with Kaya, that was like all I thought about, being pregnant and being a mom, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom and mom, like, which I think is really common with your first.
Yeah.
But I think now that it's my second, it's like, yeah, this baby I already know is just going to go with the flow with life. I feel like being a first-time mom, you're like, okay, I'm going to be a mom. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, I am a mom, and I've already known for 4 years that Kaya like goes with my life.
Yeah.
She travels with me. She works with me. She comes, I pick her up. I still work.
Let's talk about kind of the evolution of where you've gone from when you first, got married young to now on second marriage. What has Bella evolved into? Because I feel like those transitions and seasons and changes in your life, and even in this redemption season, it births a new part of your identity. Yeah. And now it being solidified in Jesus. What would you say, like, what were those evolutions? And then right now, what would you kind of describe this season?
Well, I think the key word through all of it is healing. And I think all of it did happen for a reason, even the hard parts. When I was 21, I just was a kid. I booked a one-way flight to Kauai, Hawaii during COVID, the peak of COVID, August of 2020. 3 months later, literally the next day I met my daughter's dad. 3 months later, I was pregnant. 6 months later, I was married. And I remember the day before I got married, I was like, I don't want to do this. I was too young, but I still did it. I still persevered. I still gave it a chance. But like, I think through all of that, a lot of like my childhood trauma came up. And eventually I found out that my ex was a covert narcissist. And I didn't even know what the word narcissist was. And I just really uncovered so much like mental health issues that are in society and stuff that I had dealt with as a child, and just realized I was really lacking self-worth and self-love. And I did not think I was worthy because I didn't have Jesus. I didn't know what any of it meant. I like didn't grow up in a Christian family. I didn't have anyone guiding me. So I feel like God was like doing all of this to me so that he could mold me and shape me like clay, you know, and I had to go through the fire to get purified. And then it just all hit me. Literally the day I got divorced, I was driving after and I had this vision. It was just like God talking to me, and I looked over the sunset and he just whispered in my ear, lean on me. I didn't know that he could even talk to me at that time. Like I didn't have a relationship with God, but God told me like, hey, just lean on me. It's going to be fine. It's going to be better than you could ever imagine.
So beautiful. Also got married young, got married at 22, married my ex-husband in 9 months.
Yeah.
Was a very quick journey. And then we were married 5 years before we had Lincoln. We had been pregnant twice before that, but that was very much so. Any relationship ever is made to purify, because the more you draw into intimacy, the deeper layers of your heart and your soul and everything get revealed through his journey. And, you know, he could speak on that. But what I experienced on very much so kind of what you were saying of, wow, there's so much of my childhood that I didn't know was trauma, or I didn't know affected me. Now I'm replicating it to someone else because it's not panning out the way. I had Jesus. I had known Jesus, had been a friend of Jesus for a while, but I didn't know what it looked like to trust him.
Yeah.
And I was actually listening to this other podcast. If anyone wants to go down some like fun Jesus trails, there's a podcast called The Deep End, and he was interviewing this other gentleman, and this gentleman on the podcast said, what was scarier than being mad at God was not trusting God. I feel like that was a lot of my journey. Without me knowing how to trust God, I used control and manipulation and all these things to get my needs met. And when I got divorced, it's like, okay, now I'm myself. Like I am by myself. I can't blame or control or whatever. God was like, let me learn how to receive my love. Lean on me.
You have to find a new identity in Jesus.
Oh, fully. The best way I described it is I trusted God 99%, but I held on to the 1.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of my journey post-divorce has been learning how to hand over the 1. With that comes a massive ego death. You know, when people have their opinions on whatever relational status you're in, people also like want to have an opinion on how you raise your kids, how you make your money. I just really admire you because of your story, your journey, and what God's done. It's so, so beautiful to see. And not only now are you in a beautiful relationship, you're pregnant with your second child, but you're also a huge entrepreneur. Yeah. I mean, that was a part of your story before, a huge part. I mean, that's really how I knew you as, you know, a content creator. But in this last season, you've stepped more into actually taking reins and now doing it for other people. So can you give us, I mean, she does it for me. Let me tell you, check out the Mom Walk Co page. That's Bella. Break down the agency or everything that you're doing, how you're working with clients, what's your view on it? Because I feel like that has been just such a reflection of who you are right now.
Yeah, it's totally like everything to me right now. It's called Sea House Socials. My website is seahousecreatives.com if you want to check it out.
Plug it. We're going to have her plug again at the end, so if you missed it, she's doing it again.
Yes, please check me out if you know anyone that needs socials. But basically, I had been posting on TikTok every single day during COVID 2020, 2021, 2022, and Instagram. Kind of blew up for like being a mom on an island during a time when everyone was inside, and I was posting on a hike in a waterfall with a newborn on my chest. Yes. And I was just like creating little cinematic moments and out of motherhood. And then in 2021, I got my first brand collab with Viore. I remember they paid me $200 and I was like, oh my gosh. So I made my first dollar from social media in 2021. Started making money online. I did Viore, and then I did a toothpaste collab, and then I did a sunscreen collab, and then it all started to go from there. And then I wanted to get management. I tried to get management, found management. I had 3 management companies.
Yep, been there.
And then, you know, I grew to like 290K on TikTok, and I was like, okay, I could totally do this for brands. So I got my first client for social media management June of 2023. Luxury fashion brand based out of Newport Beach, and they took a chance on me. And then I got divorced August of 2023. So like thankfully I had one client.
Yeah.
And a little bit of, I had $8,000 saved. Like I just moved out. It was crazy. We never got legally married. So like there was no like paperwork we had to do, which was fine. Yeah, from there I went from a stay-at-home mom to a single mom like really quick. So I was like, okay, I have to make money doing something, and I love this and I want to help businesses. And I remember I printed out, I made a logo, like I did it on my iPad. I made a whole brochure. I was walking around door to door, all the businesses in Laguna Beach.
Come on. This is what people need to hear. She did some grassroots sales.
I did a lot of grassroots stuff. My rent was like $2,800. I had to feed. I only got $1,000 in child support. Like my family wasn't helping me out. Car payment was $850. It was just crazy. Like I had all these expenses all of a sudden, like before even making any money.
Sudden, all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, here's your life overhead.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here, you owe $8,000 a month. And that was all I had in my savings.
Yeah.
So I was knocking on door to door. 6 months went by, no new clients. I still had that one client. Then I was just doing influencer work. And then I had like been planting seeds for 6 months. And that day that I met Jesus in my room, the golden light was shining in. And like I had this vision of the Samaritan woman at the well.
Yeah. When he knew everything about her, which she would normally have so much shame.
Yeah, she had 5 husbands.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of like looked at her with a lot of shame. And so she had to go to the well in the middle of the day, in the heat of the day. And Jesus knew that. And he met her in the heat of the day. Yeah. No, that's exactly like he came to me. I had my eyes closed. The sun was shining through. And like I literally felt Jesus's presence so deeply. And I could hear his voice say, "You are forgiven.
Wow.
Go and sin no more."
Wow.
And I was like bawling, crying.
Dude.
It was January 19th, 2024. And I had been a Christian my whole life. Like I said, I didn't grow up Christian, but I still was a Christian. I was still going to church every Sunday, but I feel like I never had that powerful moment.
Wow.
Like Jesus came to me and was like, hey, like you are forgiven, because I had so much shame, you know?
So beautiful.
And then I go, hey God, if that was really you, like give me a sign. And so I put in my headphones, I'm listening to worship. I'm literally just bawling, crying. I walked down to the beach. I actually was walking with my friend who's not a Christian. And this had just happened. She's my neighbor. I was like, hey, I just told her what had just happened to me. And I was literally bawling, crying. And she's like, you gave your life to him? That's a lot to give. And I was like, yeah, so sick.
Dude, that is the sickest phrase. Wow, this is so inspirational for so many people to hear right now. Because I think so many people, especially who have walked through hard things in their 20s, carry some shame that's not theirs to carry. And
yeah, and it was just like, hey, you're forgiven, like let it all go. And I wanted to know if it was real. So I was like, hey God, was that really you? Like, did you really mean that? Like, are you really taking this all? So I get down to the beach, giant written in the sand, Psalm 26, and it was all about worshiping and like joy.
Dude, God is so
and like
cool.
The way that God spoke to someone else to do that in Laguna Beach, where like not a lot of people are Christian, to write giant in the sand, a huge psalm,
is wild.
I literally got down on my knees, I'm bawling, crying, and I was like, literally like, this is gonna change my life. Like, this is crazy.
That is so stinking cool. I mean, what a testament to show how much God is so in the detail. One, of knowing that was the time that you needed to be met.
Yeah.
That he met you then in the midst of what was happening in your life at that very moment, but also is so in the detail to be like, yeah, and by the way, I'm going to show you through a sign of a miracle.
And then that day, I get my first client.
Dude.
After 6 months of knocking door to door on my own will. Like, I need this. I'm going to do this. And then God goes, surrender it all to me. And that same day, I get a huge client, my first one. And he goes, we got this.
Dude, he's
and then that was like the second sign, because I was like, it was crazy.
It's so
And then from there, I literally got clients every single month since.
Wow. God is so good. But I also want to like commend you.
It's working with God.
Yeah, and just the surrender and being able to like show how much it looks like to co-labor with God, and that God also never puts anything to waste. Yeah, maybe you spent those 6 months in your own strength to do things, but God is not going to let your own strength go to waste. And he's like,
planting
thank
seeds.
you. Yeah, thank you for doing that, but let me do it with you. There has to be something on your life for a spirit of acceleration
Yeah, I think
because of
so.
how everything comes to be. I know this is like a huge question that people want to know, and we don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but being someone who is a content creator who now runs a creative agency, people who want to get into it, people who want to explore it, who maybe are moms that are like, I want to post with my kid, but I don't want to post online, or I want to do mom
Yeah.
content, or I want to work with brands. Can you give just advice, tips?
Totally. I think if you're good with a phone, there's so many opportunities for you. And you
Yeah.
don't even need a fancy setup. The editing app I use, I think, is like $5 a month. So chill.
Yeah.
Really anyone can do it. And I think there's a lot of agencies like mine that hire women that can just like take little product videos in their kitchen if they want to get started and try.
Yeah.
There's really so many resources to get started.
That's so good. And then what if someone who maybe doesn't like want to be in front of the camera themselves, but wants to work with businesses and everything? How did you approach the businesses? Let's talk post giving life to Jesus. What did it look like in conversation on being able to come to these businesses?
Well, I do feel like because I had a personal presence for several years, I could say that and be like, hey, like I grew my own account.
Yeah.
So it's hard to come at it if you haven't had any experience really at all. But I think the best thing to do is to just start going to your favorite restaurants, take videos, and just like maybe if you're not wanting to post on your own personal presence, just like, hey, like I made this for you. Email them, hey, I live here, I live locally, like please check out my work. I created some stuff for free for you, stuff like that. It's all about cold outreach. I'll send 50 emails and sometimes I won't hear back at all. And sometimes I'll get one response and that leads to one client.
And then that client carries it to the next season or even intros you to the next person. One thing I love talking about with Bella is business, because not only are we moms, but we both have that driven business mind to be able to be creative, serve, let that business part of our brain flow. As kind of right now, you're in this season, your agency is growing. What does it look like to now be stepping into more leadership? Can you relate anything to motherhood that you're now also using within a leadership aspect from business?
Yeah. Just from like a vulnerability standpoint, really quick, I just want to touch on this, something that I'm struggling with. I'm honestly worried because I'm pregnant and I'm running a business and I'm trying to run a team and I work with 10 clients. That's something that I'm like, okay, can I do this and be pregnant and give birth? Which is like something I haven't done before. So I think that's a whole new avenue that I'm entering into. Like, okay, I have to like ask for help. I have to hire people. I think my main thing as being a leader is like hiring people that I think are better than me.
Yep.
And that's the only way the agency is going to continue to thrive when I'm in my matrescence again. With the acceleration and God's plan, like I think it will happen. And I have like a vision for the year of how it all play out before I give birth.
To kind of tie things back up, I want to like talk about what it really looks like now working as a family unit again. I think we've had past conversations on past episodes, women who are doing it all, but what does that look like behind the scenes? So co-parenting,
Right.
also being newly married, everything. What does your routine look like? How does your daily dynamics work? What works really well for you? What would you kind of recommend for people against? Give us some insight on what kind of that lifestyle looks like.
I think communication is really important and being a team with your partner. I think something before I got married in my last marriage that I really wanted was a man who could spiritually lead me. And I thought that the man just had to come in and just be the leader and like I would just like lay there and they would just like take charge. But in this season of life, like it's taught me that no, we're both leaders in our own ways. He leads me and I lead him. We work together and it's a partnership and a team.
I was laughing when you said yeah, he just leads and I lay there.
I need a strong leader to just
just need like a man. But what's funny is like so many, women who may be listening to this who aren't married yet and have that idea. And I think agree with you. Divorce was the hardest, most painful, lowest moment of my life. Neither of us wanted that to happen.
No.
But we can speak from our experience on what that season taught us. One, learning how to have hard conversations with partners, learning how to communicate with partners, learning how to also know how to walk in your identity and your power, your anointing, and it to be a mutual honor and respect versus one versus the other. It is no, you're a team and doing it that way. And so it's really cool hearing kind of like the different viewpoints on what you're experiencing now. Can you speak to the girl who maybe is dating someone? What questions would you ask her now living in a redemptive marriage that you didn't ask yourself first time around?
Like about the guy she's dating?
Guy she's dating, things to consider about herself.
Yeah, maybe just like, hey, did you really work to find your own identity before just like becoming the trad wife, becoming the ballerina farm? Like just straight from college girl to now I'm baking bread and now I'm wearing this dress and now I'm going to have 4 kids and I'm going to live happily ever after, which I think is like a beautiful thing. But I think if you don't have your own passion, or really it could be anything, it doesn't have to be like your business, it could just be like something for yourself.
I have no idea. Like looking back and being like, oh my gosh, I was 22. I was a baby.
So young, like a child.
Yeah. And I feel like there's such an evolution, and people that I really honor are couples that have grown together, because I don't think getting married young is wrong.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I don't think so either.
I would have not changed my decision either. Like so much of what
I think
happened,
it could just be like for the wrong reasons maybe.
yeah, or like for my story is there was a lot of pain, and both of us had to choose to be able to hold our own pain versus control and manipulate and other things. And what I looked at is we never were on the same team. It was either his team or it was my team. It wasn't our team. And thinking about how much like who I was at 22 to who I am now almost at 31, holy cow, I don't even know that girl.
Yeah.
You know, like if I saw her, I would hug her and be like, you got this. You're going to do it.
I think there's like a version of us hugging that younger version of us for sure. Like I think back then we were secretly getting like loved on by older us, like, hey, you're going to be fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even us like 3 years ago, you know. So to cap the episode off, we like to have a little sweet treat, a little sweet moment. You can either tell us a word of encouragement, you can tell us something that's in your purse, or maybe even where you like to go get your little treat when you want something sweet.
Well, I really love Rye Goods
Same.
in Laguna. There's also one in Costa Mesa, but I literally go there every day, and I love that all of the people that work there know my name.
Yes.
Today, Riley, who's one of the people that work there, he's like, make sure you give her 10%. And he's like, how's your daughter doing? Do you have a cute Christmas dress picked out for her? And I just love like knowing my local coffee shop baristas.
No, honestly, same. I'm at the point now too where all of the employees know me there, to feel like a local and be like connected on the in. I think that's one of the beautiful sweet things of Orange County is the coffee culture is really strong, and it's kind of like an activity everyone does out here is, you know, you can make your coffee at home, but
there's 12
out.
Coffee shops in Laguna Beach.
Yes.
And Laguna is not that big.
No.
Yeah, it's 7 miles. Something like that.
Something you've done better. You're born and raised.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I know we said we were going to end with that, but the Laguna girl, everyone dreams of, you know, they watched the show Laguna Beach and they saw that online. Can you give the insight of Laguna Beach, what it's like to now raise children there?
Yeah, being a child there is so much different than being an adult there. Like growing up middle school, high school, I thought it was such a bubble. I could not imagine staying there. I was like, the second I graduate, I'm out. Like, that's why I booked a one-way flight to Hawaii. I was never going to come back. I was like, goodbye forever. Like, it's a beautiful place. I just think because it's so small, everyone knows everything about everyone. Yeah. My graduating high school class with 200 people. My school had 800 kids, and everyone just was in everyone's business.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got to get out of here. But now coming back as an adult, I feel like none of that even matters anymore. And like, I feel like I can really appreciate the town, see it from a different perspective. And it's really so beautiful and wholesome, and just, I love it so much.
It is. It's so
It is my hometown, but I'm glad I got away for a few years so I could appreciate it.
So good. Well, can you plug all of your socials, your website, everything where people can find you?
Yes. My personal is IsabellaPage_. My business is seahouse.socials. And my website is seahousecreatives.com. I'm there for all of your marketing needs, brand production, photography, social media management, graphic design, really anything. So
I love it. You guys got to stay tuned on her content. Follow her next motherhood journey as well as her entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, and I actually do offer coaching if anyone does want to be a social media manager or influencer. I have one-on-one coaching options.
You guys heard it first. You got to get in from the expert. I pay her the good bucks to do it. She does a great job. I know you guys are going to be inspired by her. I love always talking with you. You're such a blessing.
You're the best.
And tune in for the next episode.